Normally, meditation starts with a practice. And then we discover self by knowledge. So I have been saying knowledge practice. Knowledge is not a practice. I look at you, I know you. What is the practice? Pay attention. It's one of the highest principles of mindfulness and meditation. When you do practice, there is a doer in you. Means there is a I am in you. And that I am in you is making some effort on the body, on the mind, on the thoughts, on something. They are known as the steps of meditation. So when we practice, that I am is always there. The doer is always there. Whatever Master says, as long as the doer is there, that I am is there in the intellect, you don't reach to the highest state of mindfulness or meditation. So that is why I gave today's topic that you start with a practice and you discover the self by knowledge. Why I say, in any mindfulness and meditation, knowledge of the reality is revealed. Knowledge of the self is revealed. So not by practice, but then why we do practice? Because we are not qualified seeker. Until we become a qualified seeker, we have to do the practice. But the moment we are qualified, now knowledge. Take one simple example. We start learning driving. Driver teacher comes. He gives us lessons and we need to practice. See, that practice comes. Now, you pass the examination, written and practical. You have a driving license. Means what? Oh, can you drive me there? Yes, I can drive you. So you keep that driving license in your wallet and you drive me to the destination. So it is because of the knowledge you already have it. Understand again that why we say this, that the mindfulness or meditation is an effortless, natural practice, goes beyond the so-called practice. It is not a practice. Very good. In order to understand that, make a pair, knowledge, ignorance and knowledge, and action in action. Now pair them. Knowledge is opposite of ignorance. So every teacher says of the Eastern wisdom that we live in ignorance, incomplete knowledge about myself, and that is why I am suffering. Now put knowledge against action, or put ignorance against action. Can by action, can we remove that ignorance? The answer is no. The action, opposite of action is inaction. Karma, no karma. Ignorance, opposite is knowledge. So normally what happens that our mind, due to the wrong notion, they create a pair which is not applicable. They make a pair, oh, I have lot of problem in the mind. I'm suffering. What should I do? What should I do? It means action. And every teacher in the Eastern wisdom, they start talking of the principles of the Eastern wisdom. Kindly sit, understand. I was giving you an example of this young boy. I said, come, please sit. Your mind is totally reactive against your mother. So you want to say yes to mother and you want to say no to the mother. By which practice you can remove yes and no? No practice. It is by understanding that your mind is reacting against your mother. First thing, to remove that reaction, to remove that anxiety, to remove that duality, and then sit down calmly to take a right decision. So we create a wrong notion that meditation and mindfulness is a practice, and you continue to keep those wrong notions moving in your mind, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. That is why every master starts talking about it. They talk of the principle. Come on, understand. Ignorance is opposite of knowledge. So if we awaken to the knowledge of the reality, the ignorance that is causing the suffering will come to an end. But my mind is not yet qualified. My mind is wandering. It has likes and dislikes. Likes and dislikes causes attachment and detachment. A constant thinking of attachment and detachment, what happens? Creates a circle of my habit, of my attitude. So what happens? Sometime I'm always running. I ask you to close your eyes. You close your eyes, but your mind is running. It is running mind is because of that ignorance. So first we have to qualify to become a seeker. And it happens in every facet of life. And we don't realize that. We simply say, close your eyes, sit, look at the breath, and that becomes the meditation. The answer is no. So we return again. First, karma should be done. We should do practice to qualify. To practice, qualify to do meditation. So I'm using a wrong phrase, to do meditation. So now you are qualified. You understand it. So once you are a qualified seeker, then the knowledge should be there. That knowledge should be awakened. In knowledge, there is no doer. There is no I am. See that. In karma, when you do anything, who does? I am doing. So the intellect says there is one I-ness, the doership is there, and doership on something. One of the most beautiful principle our master speaks, that karma has an inherent defect. Inherent defect. I am doing, I'm doing this step. I like this step. I love this step. I dislike this step. I don't like this step. No, my mind reacted. Oh, the moment there is a doership, the mind returns with the likes and dislikes, pleasure and pain, sorrow and happiness. But in knowledge, we don't have this duality. This doership is not there. I am is not there. So in the knowledge, your 100% awareness is there on the real self. So that is why we say meditation reveals the knowledge of the reality, the knowledge of the self. And the moment that knowledge of the self is revealed, what happens? It brings an end to the suffering. Knowledge is like a light, and karma, doing something, is like a darkness. So ultimately, in any meditation, we reach to a state of doing nothing. That is why you see that I always adhere to the principles taught by these masters. In the end, I say, be in the state of doing nothing. Why? Even if I do nothing, the existence is always present. Whether I live or die, existence is always there. In the same state of peace and calmness and happiness and love and wisdom. So let us start our today's meditation focusing on these principles that we have discussed. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed. And when you close your eyes, first thing is to adjust and find out the finest position of the body by which you can remain in that position. You see that every moment I introduce that principle for the sake of clarity and understanding, but still the mind moves somewhere else, and I bring it back. So the eyes are closed. Get into any position of the body, any position. So what I'm saying, I'm trying to get rid of that doership. That very I am. We're just casually sitting, lying down in any position of the body, and then eyes are closed. So when your eyes are closed, then what happens? You become aware. Yes. Position. So now position, we know it. Knowledge, so-called the knowledge. You are aware. Awareness, knowledge, and experience, my friend. You are simply aware. Now what happens? When you are aware, the mind stays for a second and then it goes into its own habit. That is where we need to do some practice. Why? We have yet to become a qualified seeker. Look at it. How simple it is to understand. And looking at the world outside, knowledge of the word. That means the room. And now look at the body, become aware of the body with the sensation. So the quality of the mind changes as you shift your awareness from outside to inside. Really? Let us see. In this step, we are actually not doing any action. We are based on the wisdom, the knowledge. Good. So now you're looking at the breath. Now see that you were looking at the world outside, same mind, knowledge. You were looking at the body, feeling the sensation, and now you are looking at the breath. It is all about the knowledge. So when you are looking at the breath, you find as if the mind is subtle. You look at a big tree, physical. You look at a small herb, and you look at one leaf. You see, the quality of the mind changes. The knowledge is there. You're not taking any action. Same thing, you're looking at the breath. Once this wisdom clicks in you, it is irreversible. You live into that state of peace and happiness. So now behind the mind we go, we feel, oh, the thoughts and feeling and sensations are there. Very good. Let it be there. You simply know it. And now what is behind these thoughts? It is a witness in the intellect. It is not the doer in the intellect. That is the key. Witness in the intellect, not the doer. Not the doer succeeds in meditation. And now I made this journey simpler. How? By being comfortable. By being comfortable. So how do I say being comfortable? Say that. Look at the neck joint. Are you not creating the neck joint? You are not acting on it. You are simply looking at it. And you have an experience of sensation. Good. You have an experience of being comfortable. And you have an experience of steadiness. That is what I'm saying. I'm not saying to do anything, my friend. Be very clear about it. And I'll look at the shoulder joints. Now what happens? The mind does not want to follow this knowledge. Why? It is not qualified. If it is qualified, it will follow. So you will understand, look at the shoulder joints. feel the sensation, relaxation, and steadiness. How simple it is. Look at the hip joint. You're looking. Looking means knowing. Be very clear. We are not doing any action. We have already understood that opposite of ignorance is knowledge. It is action. Opposite of ignorance is not action. And the very action is always defective. And the way ignorance is already there. And we mess with both, and we are always in trouble. So, looking at the knee joints, feeling the sensation, being comfortable in steadiness, and moving the mind on the entire body. Just being there. You may be thinking, oh, this is the beginner step. No, this is the advanced step. But normally I don't tell anyone. Why? Well, their mind lives into that ignorance. So gradually and slowly I have to ask them to get rid of it. And now being carefree. Now see that I'm invoking witness in the intellect, not I am not the doer. How? I say being carefree means you are standing across a road watching the traffic. You are standing across a road watching the traffic. So two things are separate, you and the traffic. Now the same knowledge should be there inside in being carefree. You, there is another mind which is looking at the thoughts. I know it. The thoughts are there, feeling is there, and I'm guiding you, you're listening to me. So there is a one mind which is aware of everything happening, and the other mind where many things are happening. Thought is there, you sometimes you listen totally and sometimes you miss it. And yes, so two things. That is what I say standing across the road watching the traffic. It is a knowledge. Where is that knowledge? It is awareness, knowledge, and experience. So what happens? Any thought enters into your mind. You experience it is not you. It is separate from you. And once you experience that separation by knowledge, not by practice, you cannot separate by practice. See that. That is why I always say meditation or mindfulness is a play and a fun and a joy of conscious living. That is the meaning and the knowledge of being carefree. Okay. And now when I say being casual, being natural, now just understand if there is an existence by which we all exist, is that existence constantly suffering, running, busy, acting? If someone dies, the existence is crying in grief. When someone takes birth, is the existence celebrating? No. Existence is celebrating every moment, every movement, every change. That is the meaning of being casual, natural. So when you are casual and natural, the mind is looking at that existence with a surprise, with amusement, with a joy. How beautiful you are, you are the existence by which everything, every person exists. So mind knowing that and understanding that if this existence exists in joy and peace and calmness, in spite of the fact of trillions and trillions of changes taking place every moment. Compared to that existence, O mind, you have nothing to worry. You have nothing to worry. That is the knowledge of being casual. And then I go to the next step, which is also a knowledge. When you followed the two steps of a knowledge, the third step is obvious and natural. I'm reminding you. How? Look at the head and the neck. Reference point I'm taking, knowledge. I'm not asking you to create head and the neck. It is already there. So know head in the neck and experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. If the mind has followed the previous two steps, did you practice? No. There was a doer? No, because these previous two practices was simply a knowing, an awareness, a knowledge, an experience. So when you look at the head and the neck, you experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. That is the natural outcome. Because the mind lives in ignorance, it does not know it. That is why this step is. Okay. Look at the right arm. Look at the right arm, feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. I'm not saying anything to do. Move the mind on the left arm. It means you know it. I'm asking you to know it. And experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. Simple, I'm saying. Move the mind on the chest and the belly. Experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. Move the mind on the belly. You see, normally when we are not a qualified seeker, mind jumps around. Mind says, no, what should I do? This is not doing. This is not the doership. And the moment the doership comes, we miss the whole practice. Good. Move the mind on the right leg. Be there. What it means by being there, just to know it. Experience sensation, relaxation and stillness. Good. Moving the mind on the left leg, feel the sensation and become aware, sensation, relaxation and stillness. I believe you are getting it. Move the mind on the entire body. Knowledge, no doer. And experience sensation, relaxation, stillness. We are not stopping at sensation, relaxation, and stillness in the body. We are going deeper. The goal of meditation is to reveal the knowledge of our true nature. We are in ignorance. We have a wrong notion. That causes the suffering. Opposite of ignorance is knowledge. And the mind is so-called living within, moving within. Now have a totally a fresh perspective. What is that fresh perspective of the breath awareness? Breath is going on its own, moving on its own. So we simply look at the breath. Means we know the breath. Let us know the breath is going in and out. Feeling the sensation of the breath. And there is no change. Why there is no change? We don't want to introduce I am the doer. Why? The mind still continues with the wrong notion that if I do something, I will be in peace and happiness. We have tried very hard. People have tried for years and years, weeks and weeks, months and months, changing the situation and condition and relationship and expression and the thought, all our actions. The doership cannot lead us to peace and happiness. So in that state of knowledge of sensation, relaxation and stillness, we are looking at the breath. We know the breath is going in and out. We feel the breath when it goes in and out. And we do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. So what will happen? Behind that breath awareness, the knowledge of the self will be revealed. And the breath awareness will act as a shield to prevent the mind to become the doer. That is the reason we are asking to be aware of the breath. And we don't pick up, we don't understand, we continue to focus on the breath, we continue to force the breath, and we live in ignorance. We make even the breath awareness as if we are doing something, and that doing something continues to guide us to live in ignorance and suffering. And then we complain, I was aware of the breath, nothing happened. We don't need that I am. We simply need knowledge. In knowledge, there is no doer. Live into that awareness. And we do nothing again. You are in a state of doing nothing. Let the knowledge reveal the self, the peace and the happiness, love and the wisdom. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand. We are not in a hurry. Bring your awareness on the left hand. And bring both your palms on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. And sit up and also unmute your phone, unmute your computer to share your experiences.